Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? So, Sunday, I sort of messed up my F1 car, and since we don't carry any parts for this specific car, it's a Roche or Roche, I don't know, but it's pretty awesome. It drives really well, but we have this chicane, and I hit my front end on that chicane pretty hard a few times, and it bent this what's called a kingpin, and I went online yesterday to see if I could find any parts for it, and they're out of stock. So I happen to have another F1 car. It's a Yokomo, and I was going to see if the front kingpin on this is long enough and the same diameter to go through this kingpin to see if I could get a fresh new straight kingpin. So that's my project for the moment, and we'll see what happens. I kind of want to see what the audio's like here. Oh yeah, we're fine. So let's dig in, shall we? So what happened last week was or Sunday was it hit so hard that it took this little E clip. There's a spring there, and it took that E clip off, and the spring went flying, and then the little I guess you could call it a spring retainer disappeared on me. So I had to kind of make one, and then because the kingpin itself is bent, it changed the way that this steering arm worked, and it caused the wheel to rub. So I had to put some spacers behind it, and because I had to put some spacers behind it, then I couldn't tighten my wheel nuts all the way down, and so I sort of just went with it because I was kind of running out of options, and I was doing really good, and I hit the chicane, and it sent me to the next wall. And when this wheel hit the wall, it took the nut, because there was a little bit of wiggle room. It took the nut and it tightened the nut down. So I hit it and like that, and so it grabbed it and it tightened the wheel nut, and then it locked this tire up, so I couldn't go anymore. So whatever. The funny thing is I break this car just about every other time that I run it. So it is what it is. But I would like to get it fixed and working correctly. So that I can race again. I already missed one round of the Winter Series, and I had a bad finish. I think I finished last or second to last. I don't know. Whatever it was. Wasn't a good finish, and so I'm kind of out of the points. But that's okay, because I normally work anyways, so I guess I'm not that worried about it. Now there's a buttload of washers here that I have to be careful of, and I don't want to lose like that. The dirt track is open for practice on Friday. So we just got a question from Jake Wilkening. Yeah, Friday the track is open. It's all yours. Open to close too. Normally it opens at 4, but since it's Black Friday and we're going to be super busy upstairs in the store, hopefully just selling stuff so we can stay open, the track will be open all day long. Yeah, this kingpin is absolutely bent. like bent. There we go. There's all those little washers. We don't want to lose those. Oh, this is going to not be good to get out of here. I'm going to have to go from the other direction. That's what I'm going to have to do. Another one of these. Slicks or treads? Well, that's a good question. So last Friday was Family Friday Off-Road, and Will and I were both there with our mod 2-wheel cars, and we were just trying to get some track time in on the dirt, to kind of get, at least for me, well, both of us, because we're going to INS here next week, and we were just trying to get a feel for it, kind of get back on dirt, kind of get the feel for it all. And I believe he was on slicks, and I decided to go with treads. So actually, I have my car here. So I put on just good old golds and ran PB Blaster tire sauce, which we had been using TDK, but because it's cold out now, I didn't think that was a good idea. I think it was warmer out there, but not warm enough to where I think that that'd be a good idea. Anyways, my car was fine, but his car was slicks on. I drove his car. It definitely had a little bit more traction, I guess, especially coming out of corners. But my golds, they worked just fine. So you could probably get away with both. If it was summertime, I'd say obviously all day long slicks. That seems to be what we've all been doing. But in the wintertime, I think it's tricky. I really do. I tried my slicks. I didn't like them at all, and I think that's just because I wasn't using the preferred tire sauce when you're running those slick tires. So, long answer to a very simple question. I did win though, but Will was probably faster than I was. He just had one more crash than I did. I was able to do the triple, and he wasn't doing the triple, and it was certainly a risk-reward sort of thing. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Look at this thing. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, if it shows up well. That is a bent kingpin, and it's really long. So I tried to match up the X-ray kingpin, and it was too short. And this looks shorter, but this also had a whole bunch of washers on top of it. So I'm gonna try it anyways, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least I'll give it a try. I hope it's the same. Yeah, it looks like the same diameter. So this is an old Yokomo, and that's a fairly newer Roche, or Roche. I don't know how you pronounce that. Roche. What else is going on? There's just 6 of you on here right now. They're racing, at least I hope they're racing, on-road, regular Wednesday on-road tonight at the Plex. Hopefully they're all having fun. Okay, let's see if this will work. That's where that O-ring came from. So I got this car used, and I believe I'm its at least third owner minimum. So I've had to do a lot of thread locking, re-thread locking, and I have broken it a few times. So I'm kind of on-road's not my typical thing. Usually what I'll do is if somebody's buying an on-road car, if somebody's selling an on-road car, and it's a really good deal, I'll get one, and then I'll race it for a little while, and then I'll get bored, or off-road season will come on quicker, and I move on, So this has been a challenge to not break this thing every week. Has been a real challenge. Looks like it's a perfect circle, so it should just go in. Then I lost a spring retainer on the other side. So basically whatever I do to the one side, I'm going to have to do to the other side. And if it works, yay me, But why is that not going in there? The store's been really getting ready for Christmas. We're gonna have kind of a cool sale going on over the weekend. We're basically, I believe, if you spend $150 or more, you get 10% off anything that's not an RC car, I believe is what the sale is. I don't have the sheet in front of me. I'm going off of memory here. And then if you do buy an RC car and you get a battery and charger, then it's 10% off. And then if you just get an RC car without buying a battery and charger, you get like a munchie pack, and there was something else. Oh, and a free track pass, which we've done in the past. The track pass stuff I always like doing, especially when racing was getting kind of lean there for a while. It seemed like that kind of helped us kind of build that back up, get some people in there, get them interested in getting them on the track, so they kind of all can sort of have a feel for, give it a try or whatever, and then get them out there to race on a Friday night. That's the key. Get you guys out there to race on a Family Friday off-road. So we got a little free thing going on if you buy an RC car this weekend. Get some free track time. So there is a washer. So one washer underneath. One of these guys. And then this guy, steering knuckle. And then it looks like I should be able to get the same amount of washers in between to keep the arms the same. Should have counted how many that was. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I can make that work, then I think we're in business here. Trying to keep my fingers out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing. But basically this car's got a bunch of washers in between the steering knuckle and the front upper and lower arms to kind of keep it centered. I'm sure I could play with that too. I bet you I could swap a couple more arms to raise that up if I felt like it or needed it. I'm not entirely sure what that would do. 4. But this car works pretty darn good. It pushes a little, but it's like a good push. It's like I kind of need it to push, otherwise I'd run into stuff left and right. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Moment of truth here. Oh, I think that's going to work, isn't it? I think that's going to work. The only thing I'm missing really is the shock cup, or the spring cup. So you're supposed to have the spring cup, and I'm sure that's just to keep this thing from binding up, but it doesn't feel like it's binding up. So I don't see why that wouldn't work. It's not binding at all. And it just brings that spring like a lot closer inside of here, but again, I don't necessarily think that that's a terrible thing too, because it was getting, so when you put the wheel on, right, and I'm looking at it, I mean, it does get very close to that wheel too, which I'm sure with some flex would cause it to rub. I mean, you can actually see it on the tire, believe it or not. That's pretty crazy. You can actually see how that could bottom part of that kingpin could actually rub on this thing. So maybe it's not such a bad deal, but I feel like I need to put a washer on that side anyway. So I'm going to take this apart one more time. And again, whatever we do to this side, we also going to have to do to the other side. So we're going to have to do this twice. So I'm going to, again, all these stupid washers are going to drop all over the place. So again, so that spring, and there's a pivot ball right here, and right now that spring is going right up against that pivot ball. I'm sure you honored guys, if any of you guys are watching, are going, ugh, yeah, you need that shock spacer, but I don't necessarily think I do. So what if I use this? And the cool thing is I can actually, because you know they race Wednesday nights, right? And so you have this. If you'd like to practice on road at the HobbyPlex, you have a small window before the track gets contaminated with all the dust and dirt that gets kicked up from the off-road. So basically, Thursday mornings are the best time to come practice on-road at the Plex, because the track will still have Wednesday night's groove kind of in it, and the track will be relatively clean. And then when Friday night comes around, of course, we got to put out the off-road track anyways, except for this Friday. But there'll be a lot more off-road people practicing on the track. So unfortunately, you know, yeah, you have this small window basically to actually practice. Or whenever we have a Winter Series race on Sunday, Mondays are also a good time to come in. It'd be that, Monday after a Winter Series race. The track will still be really good, and I don't think Monday gets very busy until nighttime for any off-road practice. So I could fix this tonight, and then I work tomorrow at noon, so I could actually go in there if I wake up kind of early and see if it in fact will work just fine. I think that's the trick. So okay, we're gonna put these washers back on. Did any of you guys get a chance to watch that Visions RC race thing on Mav TV? I thought I had Mav TV. Turns out I didn't. And I guess you get a free trial. We have YouTube TV, so I could have gotten a free trial, but I always forget about those. So I don't want to get a free trial and then completely forget and end up paying $10.99 a month for something I don't really want full time. But I don't know, maybe I'll find a friend or something or that has it and go watch it there. Come on. For those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, so Live RC hosted their own race at the Visions event in Oklahoma this summer, and a whole bunch of cash payouts. And Jared Wiggins actually ended up winning the whole thing, which was pretty freaking rad. And yeah, look at that. I think that's going to work, guys. I really do. We're going to tighten down our... But anyways, and it premiered today at 3 o'clock on Mav TV. The actual edited race coverage of it. And I really want to watch it, but hopefully I get a chance to watch it down the road at some point. Oh yeah, look at that. I think that's going to work just fine. I'll have to ask somebody why the kingpins are so long. There's a because on the site that I checked on today, they didn't have the extra long kingpin, but they did have some other ones. So I was kind of curious as to what exactly the difference would be. Kind of out of the loop on this stuff a little bit, so I'm sure there's got some sort of meaning as to why it's longer. I just takes more shims though to get it all in the right spot, So the problem that I was having and why I couldn't continue is the fix that I worked on. So Sunday I was working in the store, right? And I hate working in the store while I'm trying to race, because then if something bad happens, then I have to figure it out. So I was upstairs trying to help people, but at the same time, I had to make a shock, not a shock, like a spring cup. And when I put it on, because the kingpin was bent so much, right? Look at that. That's crazy. So what happened was your left side had a whole bunch more caster, right? And so then when you turn the wheel, the inside tire was actually catching and rubbing really bad. So I had to space it out a little bit. Well, when I spaced it out a little bit, all I could find are these 5mm spacers, And when I did that, then I couldn't tighten it down all the way. And I couldn't tighten down the nut all the way to hold the wheel on. So I had to like tighten it down and then back it off just a little bit so it would spin, and then I hope that it lasted the whole race, and it did not. So putting this kingpin on and going like that at full lock without it rubbing is a total win. So excellent, excellent, excellent. Finally, during the HobbyPlex After Hours YouTube program, I have fixed something, or tried to fix something, and it actually works. Hooray! Look at that. That is fantastic. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're gonna steal parts from this Yokomo I got here and do the exact same thing on the other side, so that everything is the same. My wife is texting everybody, so I'm gonna shut that off. That's super annoying. Did anybody here watch Andor yet? Are you watching Andor? I don't know about you guys, but I'm super happy with that show. Probably one of the better Star Wars programs made so far. I stayed up, as usual, to watch it last night till like 2 a.m. And I'm going to steal this fan mount, too. So this Yokomo's got a fan mount back here, and it hovers right over the axle and kind of the motor. And I would really like to put that on this car, because my motor does get pretty crazy hot. So I'm going to steal that as well off of this car. But anyways, dude, I was really happy with that show, and really looking forward to the next series, or the next installment, I guess you could say. Of course, you have to wait. I hate waiting that whole time for that. It's kind of lame. You know, I just realized that these axles have these little. I wonder if 6 baby spacers equals one of these spacers. I should probably check that with a caliper. Maybe I'll save myself some time. So I actually borrowed this car. So Tim had this car, belonged to somebody, and it was kind of like abandoned. And I asked him if I could take it and try to get it running again. And that was my full intention, was to get this car running again. And then I came across Mike Soltal selling this one, so I ended up buying this car from Mike at our not flea market. Oh my gosh, what did I call that? I like forgot what it's called. It's not a flea market. It's something else. Dude, my brain is not working all of a sudden. Swap meet. There you go. I got a super smoking deal on it at the swap meet. And honestly, like, that's one of the best deals I've ever come across so far in my life. So thanks, Mike, for selling me that car. I'm may not always look like it, but I am actually enjoying it quite a bit when I get to drive it. Like, I could have raced tonight, but you know, didn't feel like it. Plus, I wanted to get this fixed, and then I wanted to start taking a look at my cars. I actually went through my whole B6.4 the other day, and felt pretty good about it. So I didn't think that I needed to do anything, and then of course I decided to race it, and now I should probably look it over again just to make sure that oh my gosh, this thing's got a tail light. Oh, I wonder if it works. Dude, it's got an F1 light. I didn't know that. Now I do. But the wires are like cut. So I wonder if I could oh my gosh. I didn't even know I had a tail light. I had a rain light, an F1 light. I'm going to set that aside for a second. Alright, so this, and don't need that. I just found a light. That is great. Alright. Can't believe these cars still have Jesus clips, but I understand that they have to. Like, the design of a pan car honestly hasn't really changed all that much. Well, they have, but like the way that the front suspension works, you know, you still have to have something holding the spring in place, you know. Oh, shoot. But, that being said, I think if you look at some of the pan cars from like the 80s, God, they seem way more complicated than these things nowadays. So, I don't know. Here's that piece that I lost. Oh, look at that. So it's just a spacer. It's just a little black spacer. And then this guy right here, keeping that shock, or that spring from moving around a bunch. So it's just like a concave washer. So I kind of came up with my own little mirror of that. That's pretty cool. That's true. Joe Zayers here, he said the early cars you have to fit and finish everything. Yeah, there was a lot more. There definitely was a lot more hands-on-y stuff, because they were just fiberglass chassis that you, like, you know, they were just like, here, it's yours now. I could see that. Okay, I know what I wanted to do. Where's this at? Kyle Nutter says, been out of the hobby for 10 plus years, just now getting back into it. In your opinion, what's changed the most in that time? SCT's all the rage then, now it's crawlers? Yeah. SCT has definitely dissipated. Although, if you come on a Friday night, you know, we still have multiple heats of beginners with nothing but short course trucks. So, but, you know, they're like the Arma Centon that's four-wheel drive, and then all your different slashes that are out there. But they're still, you know, they're still short course. So, is that zeroed? It's not zeroed. I wouldn't say crawlers are all the rage. I think just in general, everything has gotten more there's just a lot more of everything, I guess, is how I would kind of look at it. Nope. So that's 2.9, and those are 2 millimeters. So if I had a 2 millimeter washer somewhere, I'd save myself some trouble, but I don't think I do. So I'm just going to leave it. Just got to make it the same, that's all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would... If crawlers are just definitely more popular because they've become a lot more accessible. But I think... I just think you have even more genres now. Like you've got crawlers, you've got your traditional race cars, two-wheel drive buggies, four-wheel drive buggies. You've got 8 scales, mini truggy in our area. It's pretty big. It's kind of replaced the 4x4 short course truck on the racing side of things. You've got minis, you got your Mini B and Mini T. At the Plex, we're doing a lot of that. It's been real fun and popular. Drag racing, has filled a void out there with a way to race for money without necessarily having fistfights afterwards because somebody hit somebody. What I like about crawling is the same thing I like about drag racing. It's all you. If you red light, that's your fault. If you can't go in a straight line, that's your fault. If you do everything right and the other guy's faster, then that's just how you race. I think that I thought I turned that off. I think that I just think RC in general has grown overall. I mean, we see it in the store. You have a lot of options. You can do a lot more stuff. Back, and it's been that way for a long time. Back when I was a kid, you only had, 2 legitimate race cars, and then if you wanted to screw around, you bought a Tamiya car. And now, if you want to screw around, you've got just tons and tons and tons of different cars out there. You can get a crawler and not have to compete. You can just go trail somewhere. Before you had to, if you wanted to do something like that, you had to make it. Now you can just buy it. I think racing has gotten a lot better. I think the cars have gotten way tougher. They handle way better. Everybody thought going mid-motor would completely ruin outdoor racing. I don't think that's the case. I think you can make these cars work, on any surface. 8 scale has had ups and downs in popularity. I think it's more popular now than ever. I think indoor racing's taken a hit just because it costs so much to have a place to race, that it's been hard to, you see a lot of places closing, and a lot of it's, I have a theory that sometimes places close because the person running it's kind of tired of everybody's bullshit. I think that's almost more true than somebody running out of money. But it does cost quite a bit to keep these things going. So, we're kind of fortunate. We kind of own our own building. We're not at the mercy of a landlord that says, "Oh man, you guys got to get that dirt out of here." I need this for something else. It's ours. Yeah, and then we've got mini crawling. I love my minis. I don't know if you guys can see. So wait until let's see. I sent it on Sunday, so hopefully Friday. Oh crap, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Damn it. So Monday, we're getting a couple Furatech like complete chassis builds. It'll come with carbon fiber frame, uh, metal links. I believe it comes with metal axles, a servo, a metal transmission with a brushless motor, and it's like a kit that you build. It's $199. So I'm gonna turn. I think I'm gonna turn my little one of my little Jeeps here. I think well, not turn it. I'm just gonna take the body from it and the wheels and tires, and I'm gonna have a new crawler, and it's portal axle. So it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait. It's gonna be super fun. And then I gotta start getting to work on our crawler, our indoor crawling area. Again, I kind of told everybody I kind of wanted to take a break. You know, we usually crawl on Tuesday nights. We've been doing 10 scale, really since it got warm in the springtime, and it got super cold recently. And I'm just like, you know, maybe that's a sign to maybe, you know, take kind of a break for a little bit. So that's kind of what we're doing, and then we'll get back to 24 scale crawling indoors. Although I don't think I'm gonna do it like a competition. I think we're just gonna have like a get together every Tuesday instead of an actual like comp. It takes so long. Like it just takes so much time. Look at that. I think she's fixed. At least now I know I can use shorter kingpins, because I was kind of freaking out that I wasn't going to be able to find the parts I need for this thing. But it looks like I can use, if I can use Yokomo, I'm sure I could use X-Ray as well. At least on that part. I'm not all of the car, of course, but feels smooth, I guess. Looks straight. Well, that wheel doesn't, but it did take a lot of hits, so maybe I should look at that. I missed some stuff here. Let's see. Joe Zaire, he races. I race direct at Dollar on Fridays. Slash on that itty bitty track looks like so much fun. Yeah, we tried to do stock slash on the carpet, and the slashes were just destroying the black carpet. So I figured out that if you're going to run a slash or any Traxxas vehicle, because last year somebody was trying to run a Bandit, the first thing everybody's got to do is take the bumper off and take the motor guard off, because that motor guard in the back, once it already has a little bit of a catch to it, but once you hit something or land a certain way, and that motor guard that holds it in place comes off the bottom of that chassis, it actually hangs down. And I think it was the first year that we had black carpet, somebody was racing a slash and Plex spec with the bumper on it, and that happened, and you could see them. They were doing this jump, and the truck hit, and it caught the carpet and like stopped the truck cold, and then got into the carpet and just ripped a giant tear in it. And I was freaking out because, you know, I don't want that to happen. So, for two reasons: A, I want our carpet to last, but B, I also don't need any crap from the on-road side of that table. So, kind of figured that out. But even the front bumpers, if you look at them, it's real easy for those 4 screws to catch carpet. So we actually don't allow those on our carpet track anymore. Kyle Nutters says he's completely blown away by everything available these days. I recently finished an SCX-10 and a Mini B, and am working on a 22 Elite, hoping to get some track experience soon. Yeah, the Emerson's 22, he loves his car. I'm kind of glad. I think it's kind of fun that he's got he likes his Losi buggy. and I'm still digging my associated buggy, and but then he's got a T5 or a T6.2 or whatever truck, so, and he really likes that. So that's one nice thing about not having to worry about any brand stuff. You can just get whatever works, you know. But the SCX10s, you know, they're still, that design's the most, that design has like the most aftermarket stuff out there for it. And, oh, you can adjust this wing. You might raise this wing up actually in the back. That's interesting. Anyways, and then, dude, yeah, the Losi Minis, dude. So, mine's got some little weird thing with it. I gotta actually sit down and figure it out. I'm kind of kicking myself that I did not bring it tonight to look at here, but I knew I was gonna be sort of distracted, working on my car here and all that. Oh, wonder how I can fix that on there. But I love my Mini Bs. It's so fun. Racing minis is so fun on Tuesdays. And on Saturdays. You know, the funny thing is it's kind of a different crowd, obviously, that comes on Saturday to race minis. And I've been getting my butt kicked on Saturdays. But on Tuesdays, Emerson and I usually are like 1 and 2 with Andrew Thomas every once in a while, splitting the difference or getting a win. But Andrew's been kicking our butts on Saturday, so it's kind of a totally different thing. But I feel like once I get this thing figured out in my car, I'm thinking that, so I bought these hot racing universals for my Mini B because I got tired of losing dog bones. And the right side will catch. It doesn't allow the suspension to fully compress until the dog bone gets to vertical, and when that happens, then it'll go like that. But then it pushes back out as it rotates around. So I think it's just too long, and if that's the case, I'm gonna ditch them. But I was thinking maybe I thought maybe it was a bearing. I thought maybe I could space them out somehow. I still might be able to do that, but I don't know. It could just be the thing. I think I vaguely remember noticing that when I put them in, and then just ignoring it. But lately, my car's been landing and then hooking when I turn to the left. So that suspension gets loaded up, and then it does that as it rotates. So I think that's what's causing the car to hook when I turn to the left, because when I turn to the right, everything's fine. So I'm going to get that figured out too. And when I get that figured out, hopefully my car will be really, really dialed again, like it was at the Jconcepts race in July on the big track. The black carpet is so fragile, they just throw gray office carpet on top of the black carpet. So, yeah, and the thing about what we did, so our original our original gray carpet is actually underneath of our black carpet. So because we don't have a subfloor, we were told if we want to mimic a subfloor, just leave your gray carpet down, put the black carpet on top of it, and without gluing it, and you'll get that same effect, and the bite will really, the traction will really come up. That's exactly what's been happening. We've had really good traction, even on days, where the track is fresh. It doesn't take very long to get a good onward groove in the track. It's just that I noticed it right away. The gray carpet, it'd get dinged up, but because it was glued to the floor, if it got if it got a tear in it, or a shock tower caught it or whatever, I could take some cement, and I could just go over and push it back down and let it dry. And if you did it right, you couldn't even tell. And because the black carpet's not glued and it's fragile and thin, unfortunately, every once in a while there's nothing you can do about it. And I think if it was glued down, we could at least, take those and reglue them. But because it's not glued down, unfortunately, it's noticeable when the track gets a tear in it. However, we are getting like 70 entries a week on the off-road carpet, and the on-road crowd is not. So it's just kind of where the entries are. What are you gonna do? Do you think you'll get the 12 scale worlds with the beach line conflict? No. We thought about it, and we investigated the cost of putting in for the 12 scale worlds and things that we'd have to do to our track, to our facility, and then the banquet. And the banquet was the big thing in the way, because locally I could only find a banquet room. I could only find a few banquet rooms that had availability in the fall of next year, and they wanted like $7,000 for the room for like the night or whatever it was going to be, and all the staff. And then I think the catering was separate. So I think all in all, the banquet was going to be like almost $10,000. And and then, it'd be cool to say, hey, look at us, we've got worlds. If we did get awarded it, but then IFMAR needs their own room so that they can have whatever meetings they're going to have at that one, because they usually have a meeting where they talk about the going on of IFMAR, but they also discuss where to put the worlds next time. And we don't really have a room for that. We've got an upstairs mezzanine area, but it's filled up to the brim of stuff, and then, I mean, we've been in business for 20 years, right? For almost 20 years. So 2004, the on-road section of the store and the on-road were built, and then off-road got going about 2005, and we didn't really pit inside there until 2007, when the track was moved to where it is now, still being outside, but we'd all pit inside. So people have been pitting inside since 2007, and it's kind of gotten away from us in a way. Like our place is aged, and I see it. I don't know if other people see it, but I see it. I mean, there's like covering the windows, we have these shades. Almost every single one of those shades has been ripped up or for some reason disintegrated, and so you get light that can come down onto the track at certain points of the day. We need to replace those, but they're 30 foot up in the air. Unfortunately, a lot of those get ripped up from the airplane and helicopter guys that we allowed to use the place. You can see on the walls the insulation is just stained and kind of coated. I mean, there's just things that I think, I would like to get cleaned up or something like that before we hold that. So I'm not saying we wouldn't do that, but the big thing was the cost, because then you also have to pay so Roar originally when you host the Worlds, you get all the entry fees, but you also have to pay for everything. So we're in charge of the awards, the banquet. We're in charge of hiring people to come run the race, like tech, a race director, all these things that are also required. If you look at the rules and what they say to have at Worlds, you have to hire all those people out. And so, I mean, I would have been the announcer. So there's, a little bit of money that's not, that's just my regular hours. I would have been running it for. But so Roar has made it so that you can borrow the race management team tech equipment and some race management team members. So you would hire those guys, but you have to pay for their hotel, for their flight, for their car. You got to have a race director separate from a race announcer. So yeah, it could have been Tim, I'm sure, but that's two people now that we're taking from upstairs. And that was the other thing with security. So you have to have all of your people there for the race completely separate from anybody else. And so we'd have to rearrange the pit tables so that your pit people would be here. And because it's 12 scale, I mean, it would be in America, so you never know how it would be. This is really inside baseball, too. I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys, but these are some of the reasons why we decided not to put in for the Worlds. Even the 10 scale Worlds, that was going to be in America this year. And we thought about trying to bid on that, too. Hobby Action has it, which I'm going there. And, everything that I've been told about Hobby Action is amazing. I believe they've got a Mister system now, all that good stuff. But it's all these things besides the race that you got to worry about and you got to pay for. But we've had to rearrange the pits so that we have a separate, spectator area over a separate spectator area over where all the pit people are. Then you have to have security to make sure that nobody gets in there. So you have to hire that, which we've never worried about before. And then for 12 scale, it's also tires. So they have a allotment of tires, and they have to turn in those tires every night. So your tech at any IFMAR event requires quite a bit of people. When I went to China in 2016, I mean, they had this full crew of people. I just didn't think we could pull it off, to be honest with you. So, there was a lot of thought that went into it when we started breaking everything down and we started adding up what we thought the entries would be. I don't know. We didn't think it was worth it. Yeah, Cam and you could be security. But then again, so Cam usually works upstairs. So, we could have Cam be security. That'd be awesome. He could put somebody in a headlock and choke them out. But there's one more person that we don't have running the store. One of the reasons why we didn't put it in for the off-road, we discussed it, but we didn't even bother putting in for it, is the off-road one, everything I just said applies, but also the track itself and one of our main income sources, which is club racing, selling parts to club racers, selling tires to club racers, having the track open during the week for people to just come in and bash their shit around, break it, come up and buy parts. Well, you think about it, you're talking an event that takes 9 days. Realistically, just so you wouldn't get anything screwed up, you'd have to take 2 weeks really to kind of make sure the track is built right, to get everything looking really nice with all the sponsor banners and just all the time that it takes, the cleaning we'd have to do, all that stuff. I mean, you're looking at almost a month off from any sort of racing on our bread and butter track. No entry fee in the world is going to be worth what we might lose for that whole 3 week to a month span, not to mention just any momentum you have, because we usually build up momentum in the springtime. We've got our, we go back to dirt racing, then we've got our big spring race, and that kind of sets us off for the rest of the summer with the summer series, right? And it always builds up momentum. We usually have a pretty good crowd for that. Our first round of the summer series is almost bigger sometimes than our Pro Tech race, and then from there on it stays steady until the very, very end. Where you think about it, I guess the race would have been in September, so it wouldn't have hurt that bad. But you would just you would just break all that momentum you would be having. You would lose it all, you know, because your locals are gonna, they might lose interest if they can't come for a month, you know. So I just don't. Unfortunately, that was just not going to be feasible with us. So long talk, but you know, that's kind of where. That's kind of what we thought. We thought we could do the 12 scale one, but again, boy, that banquet. Trying to find a banquet place and talking to people, talking to the different banquet locations that were at least close to us. I couldn't believe how expensive it was. I hope my son never gets married. Ever. Because we got married in 2003, and did we? Yes, 2003, and I don't remember our banquet place being that expensive as they were quoting us for everything. So, I don't know. Maybe you got to know somebody, you know? Maybe that's all it is. I don't think this is going to fit on there. This must have been on there with just one screw. I could probably do that. Small town venue cheaper. Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's kind of like when people freak out about the price of hotels next to us. You know, the Fairfield rate now is like $114 if you ask for the Hobbytown rate, and that's like $30 higher than it used to be at the Holiday Inn when we first started doing that. More than that. It used to be $74.99, and then it went up to $84.99. And then that whole deal went down where they said they wouldn't do it anymore. I'll send people to Missouri Valley. It's only like 15 minutes up the road, and the hotels are way cheaper, you know? And they usually have hotels too, for that matter. Like rooms actually in there.
I'm gonna rebuild my mini sharks.
Alright, I think I got this figured out. Cool. Beachline is looking at the carpet offered Nats the same weekend they were supposed to hold the Worlds. Really? See, I was told...
Steal this chair.
I was told fall for that race, for the 12 scale Worlds. That's interesting. Yeah, I think the carpet Nats, I mean, he wants to go.
I want to go.
Yeah, see? He wants to go to the carpet. He wanted to go to the carpet Nats. Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, that's going to work, though. Okay. All right. I think I figured this out. So I want to put this fan. So this fan, that other 12, or not 12 scale, that other F1 car I had this fan. And I want to blow some air on this motor, see if I can keep it cooler. But it doesn't quite fit. But I think I just figured out how to make it fit. So let's see what we can do. We're going to need a longer screw. Yeah, Beachline's pretty amazing. You think about where that place has come too. I mean, they used to be Space Coast. There was a dirt track. Their dirt was like impossible to work with. It was like concrete once they set it. So they couldn't really, I don't think they wanted to like change the track all that much. So, and now, you know, they made that decision a while back. I remember reading. It's the same thing whenever any dirt track goes to carpet in the same space. Like, we're a little different because our carpet track is not in the same facility. But, you know, there's a lot of viciousness, you know, towards that decision. And I think in their case, I mean, that was pretty damn smart to do that. And they've got some of the best looking jumps too. So it's kind of cool. Like, I can tell that they almost build that stuff in the same way that we do. You know, like the Plex off-road, we've got to take everything down every night. So we try to make everything light. That means you can't really walk on a lot of the stuff, but when we build the stuff, we made 4-foot sections, so we just put stuff together, and we kind of construct a racetrack. And if you look at theirs, how they have like their elevation and stuff, it looks like they kind of do it in the same way, but a lot better, because, you know, they probably don't have to move that stuff as often as we do. I love the blue sides, and
Yeah, we should paint our the sides of ours like red.
their black carpet is freaking awesome. That track looks so fun. Was it the first year that they held that race? And I was like, I wasn't very impressed by the layout. But then, like, the last couple years, I think, that they've held that race, the layout is just fantastic. They really do a good job. And it's big, you know.
Looks like nothing in this.
Oh, did I just do that? I did just do that. Dude, you're like distracting me. I think the Worlds are such a big deal nowadays. It's almost, I don't know. It's almost intimidating. I think it's almost intimidating to be a host for him. I would be. And if we got one of those, I mean, there'd be so much pressure. We've held Nats before, and we will again one day. There's a lot of pressure on that one too, but it's not as much as doing something on the world stage. Because if something goes wrong, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to think.
What would we have to do to, like, preparation?
Well, I mean, there's lots of stuff we'd have to do. That's not going to fit, is it? Oh, man. Alright, that's not going to work, so I'm just going to forget about it. Forget about it.
Walking.
What else do we got? I'm gonna rig this up one of these days. It's just not gonna be tonight.
Am I gonna get that 13.5 back from my truck? Rhinos.
Your what?
That 13.5 motor.
What 13.5
Power
motor?
one. For Rhinos.
What? What are you talking about?
When I was in that truck, am I gonna get it from my truck, or are you stealing it?
No, your truck's fast. Why would you want to do that? I wouldn't want to do that. I'd leave your truck alone.
We try it.
I did try it. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's
What, the motor in my truck?
no, the motor that came with that truck.
Oh.
It's not that fast. Joe Zaire says he's about to go to bed. Pro tip for the night: don't buy Kirkland hard seltzer. Stick to Truly's or White Claw. How about neither?
Really
Ew.
drinks.
Anyways, Kirkland, isn't that like the house brand? Isn't that the Walmart house brand? Or is that Kroger? I can't remember. I tried a White Claw once. Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea.
Is that a new thing?
Yeah, we just got a new water heater. Costco. Oh, okay. I thought I saw that somewhere. Yeah, our water heater broke. Was it Sunday night?
It was something.
I think it was Sunday night. We came down here and there's water all over the floor, and luckily it stayed over there instead of invading my space here, because I've got a rug and I've got a bunch of car stuff on the ground, and I thought to myself, I'm like, holy crap! If that would have filled up all the way over here, there would have been quite a bit of stuff that was ruined, and luckily that didn't happen. So now we've got a furnace catch thing. So like if it does that again, it collects in there and then it spills out into our actual drain.
Well, I mean, just for like a little bit of water though.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even that high.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll still, but it drains out into the drain, so it doesn't matter. But luckily, we've got like Service One. It's like a warranty thing. We've had to replace quite a few things. Stoves. Did our furnace go out one time? Oh no, we didn't have an air conditioner one time, and it was middle of summer and it was super hot out, and so we had to we actually slept in our basement for like 3 days.
I don't remember that.
Right? Didn't we do that? I did. I didn't want to be hot anymore, so I came down here. I'm gonna raise the swing up.
Raise the wang.
As a super noob in the sport, is there any open track this time during the week, either carpet off-road or on the clay? So the dirt track is always open all day Monday, all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, unless otherwise posted, like if I'm doing something. I won't be doing anything on the dirt, anything major until January, so that schedule is good. And then this weekend, it's open all day Friday and all day Sunday. So the carpet off-road is usually up. I try to get it done and up by 4 p.m. on Friday. This Friday probably won't happen that way because I'm actually scheduled in the store because it is Black Friday. So I don't think the carpet track's going to be up until we close. I just thought about that. Dude, Friday's going to suck.
Oh, yeah.
But the dirt track and the carpet off-road will be up Sunday. And then Christmas break, I think it's 2 weeks straight of open track because we don't do any racing or anything like that because that's our busiest time of the year. And so our last race day, I believe, is a Wednesday race on the... When's the Mini Maniacs final?
The 18th?
Yeah, so the last Wednesday race, I think, is the 19th. And then I don't think we race again until the Wednesday after New Year's.
13th.
So you'll have like...
December 13th.
You'll have like a whole bunch of days open. We like doing that too, because it gives people a chance to come in and like use all their Christmas stuff. Plus, all the kids are out of school, so it's usually hopping. Like the Plex usually is just crazy busy. The entire like second half of December and maybe the first week of January. It's crazy. And then our first Family Friday off-road after Christmas is usually the biggest Family Friday off-road of the year too. There's usually just tons of people, and they all have brand new stuff, and they're all happy and excited, and until they break something.
I want to return this.
No, that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, it has, but
Yeah,
it doesn't happen that often.
I got one of those guys that was like, man, I ran this 2 times in the gravel, and this brush motor got burned up. Can I return this? Is there a warranty?
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about guys like that, or people like that. It's just the nature of retail.
Man, this thing's a piece of junk.
It's just the nature of retail.
Whoa.
It's kind of like, wow. It's kind of like my penance. So like basically, like in order to, Emerson bent his shock cup. Look at that. Like in order to be able to race 2 or 3 times a week, that's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
In order to race like 2 or 3 times a week, like I have been every day, or I mean, not every day, every week since like, well, definitely since 2011, so 11 years now, but even really farther than that, I still have to like work retail in the store. It's a trade-off, you know? It's just part of it. But it's worth it. All right, this is annoying. I'm trying to get this spacer in here so I can tighten up. So I took these spacers out thinking that I could like give this car just a tick more caster, and all it did was make the front end like loose. So I'm going to put it back.
Covers carpet.
Can you what?
Covers carpet.
What do you mean? Carpet. Like on-road?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should. You should get it like a TTO2.
That's what I'm thinking.
Remember that year we got you a TTO2?
Yeah.
But we didn't have the high-speed gear in it, and so it was really slow.
Still kicked butt though.
But you still did really good. There's a video on the Gunter, I think it's on the Gunter Loxes.
Emerson gets taken out.
Emerson gets taken out while in the lead. I think I was pretty pissed off that day because you got like hammered on. But if you watch the video, you kind of didn't at the same time. I don't know. I think I was just being like angry race dad
It's so funny watching Flex back.
at that moment.
All the angry race dads.
Oh, I know. There's not a lot of angry race dads anymore. Is there?
Huh?
I don't think there's a lot of angry race dads anymore.
I don't know.
I don't think we've had any major angry race dads for a while. TJ has 3 TTO2s, Emerson. Dalton Conrad's on here. Hi, Dalton. Dalton's one of the...
Hi, Dalton.
Oh, shoot. Dalton's one of the kids going to Zona. So we got... So the INS Finals are coming up, and we've got me, Emerson, Will, TJ, Dalton, Andrew Thomas, Riley Filbert. I think there's 8 of us.
No one else is going?
Nope, that's it. That's still a lot, though.
No, I know.
I still have to get that video done, too, guys. I am... So...
Slacking.
Well, not just slacking, but also, like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I took a lot of footage from Hoosier, and I've got it all in my computer. I've got it all in line and ready to go. It's just finding the what's the word I'm looking for?
Are these Apple dues good?
I don't know. Try it. Finding the ambition to get that thing edited is been tough lately. I don't know why. I think it's just because of how much footage. Oh crap! how much footage I actually have that I want to get on there, and how I want to tell the story. And then I looked and I didn't get some footage that I should have gotten, so then I feel kind of stupid there. So I don't know. Well, this is dumb. I just made things harder. TJ might not be going because all of his grades are Fs. That sounds familiar.
No, mine's
That's
aren't
what I
Fs.
told him.
Mine's aren't Fs.
I know, but what did I tell you though? I said that if your grades aren't good, you're not going. Because you're also going to be missing a ton of school again too.
But I'm also going to get...
We're going to get one of those letters that's like threatening to take us to jail because you missed so much school.
Like the Sutherlands?
Yeah. Like, how dare you control your own child?
How dare you live a life?
Dalton said he got one of those. You know what's funny? When I was a kid, one of my teachers was like worried about me because I had missed so much school. So it was like, I think it said that I missed like 160 days total of junior high from 7th grade to 9th grade. It was some crazy number. And I don't think the number was right, because what I used to do was I would wake up late. My mom worked, right? So I'd wake up late and I'd walk to school and I'd time it so that I'd just slip in right at lunchtime, like right at like 11:30. And so I'd get in the lunch line and I'd eat lunch, and then I'd go to class, all my classes after that. And I did that a lot. And I think what happened was they marked me as absent for the day when I wasn't really absent for the day. I was just absent from, 3 or 4 periods.
Honestly, if school started like 30 minutes later, I would be on time every single day.
Again, that also sounds very familiar. It's so funny. I don't get it though. You used to wake up all by yourself every morning at like 6:30.
That's because
I was always amazed by that, because I'm not that way. I'm a night owl, which is why we do this at night. But also like I was always late for school. Always late for school. My dad used to like, when my parents were still together, my dad would wake me up and he'd have to literally like drag me into the shower, and then the shower would be on, and I used to take the hot water and I used to rub it on the wall of the shower, and I used to put my head against it, and I would fall back to sleep standing up in the shower because I didn't like waking up in the morning. And I was always amazed when he was younger, my son, he'd just wake up. He'd wake up at like 6 and get on the bus and go to 5th grade and 6th grade. And then right around like 7th grade, it started to not be that way as much.
That's because I used to be like happy to go to school. My school sucks.
Does Dylan need a tutor, guys? All A's, 1 B. Dylan Haas.
Whoa, what the heck?
Shock tower broken?
No, the screws are loose.
Aren't you missing a screw there?
Looks like it.
Kids are the worst. Josh McMullen's on here. Yeah, but So at this INS race, I'm going to try really hard to not be loud when Emerson's racing. I asked him if it bothers him, and it doesn't bother him, but I'm sure it bothers everybody else. So at this one, I'm going to try to be quiet. I might not even watch, but then I feel bad that I'm going to be like a bad dad and not be watching my son. So I'm just going to have to learn how to be quiet.
You have simple green?
And like not clap and, But it's really hard. It's hard for me to not do that, so.
Okay.
A glass cleaner. I mean, it might as well be simple green.
That'll work.
This sucks. I didn't lose this bushing, but this bushing came out of this car, and I'm trying to put it back in without taking a bunch of stuff off, but everything's in the way, so it's like I'm sitting here like messing with this thing for way longer than I need to. looking like a noob. Sunday I actually lost one of these pieces here, and was really lucky to find it on the track. Oh, I know how I did it. You know what? I know how I did it. I'm so dumb. I remember how I made it work.
Dalton.
Dalton?
Who's that?
Daniel. That's Bender. Daniel Bender's on here. Everybody's out of school. So they can be on their...
Who's Dalton?
Who's racing Saturday? How many of you are going to be racing at the Plex on Saturday? We need to have a Saturday where everybody that's raced this year shows up at the same time for a club race, so we can have just like a 100 entry day. There was all this stuff going on. We still had 60 entries on Saturday. 62 entries.
That'd be a really long night.
I may or may not change the layout for Saturday. It kind of depends on how much time I feel like I have.
I like the layout.
Yeah, I like it too. But I have an idea on how to make it better. Did you like the chicane?
No.
Right, so that's what I might change that. The honor guys don't like the chicane at all. Some of them do. Mark Brigatti loves it.
Well, that's Mark.
All right. Let's get this thing on here, shall we? Come on, baby. How did Bender's on here? How did you do up north, dude? I kind of perused the results when I saw how Sanders did.
Are you doing these for carpet?
Doing? No.
Oh,
I don't do this for carpet.
you should.
Well, we'd have to charge more of an entry fee, and I don't want to do that. I would have to charge more money.
We haven't gotten the picture yet.
Well, you got to earn it next year. You got to win expert stock next year
Oh.
at the summer series. Then you can get a picture.
I want the picture.
There we go. It's about freaking time.
Keep dropping this thing.
Daniel says he hasn't been on the layout yet. I like this layout. I liked what we did Saturday. I thought that was Saturday's just how we used the track flowed really well. So
Yeah, it was a fun track.
we'll probably keep it pretty close to the same. If I can figure out a way to not have the chicane, then we will. Otherwise, there we go. Now we're tight. Okay, F1 car is done, and it only took, how long have we been on? 1 hour and 29 minutes. Can we all as a group say congrats to Ethan Delaire? For what? For his baby? I guess. Congrats. Not I guess. No. I actually knew about that a long time ago. That's why it wasn't a shock.
Fury Tech left me unopened.
But he finally made it official out there, huh? And I think he are they getting married?
I think they already did.
Did they already?
I think so.
Oh yeah, look at that. The rings on the fingers. Oh, it's a boy. It's got a penis. See? There it is, right there. Look at it. It's right there. Good job, Ethan Delaire. They're engaged. Gonna have a baby. You know, I gotta say, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have minded having him earlier in life. Because I think, how old are you? 16?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 44. So that would have put you at, was I 28? I think I was 28, right? I was 28, Gretchen was 33. So, yeah, I see a lot of my friends from high school that had kids very early. Like, some of the girls, of course, had them, not of course, but some of the girls had them, had them, like, you know, before they were 20, their kids, and a lot of their kids. And so a lot of them are done with their kids. They're, like, grown up and out of there. But at the same time, you know, I'd be bored. I'd be waiting around for grandbabies, man. Can't wait. Grandbabies. I'm gonna take my grandbabies to races next. Bunch of little miniature versions of Emerson running around. Oh my god. All right, there. It's done. It's gonna be great.
Fury Sight left me unopened.
Well, maybe they're thinking about it. At least they saw it. That just means that they saw it. Emerson's trying to get Furatech. What's
the sensor system for Mini B.
He's trying to see if we can get a censored system for a Mini B from Furatech.
To review.
So Furatech, if you're out there,
if you're watching,
and you
right
happen
now,
to watch this, that message that you got was from this dude right here, and he's our Mini B guru. He's our Mini B expert. So I'm so psyched that front kingpin actually works. So I took the kingpins off of that car up there and I put them on this car.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
What's this thing?
It's a Jconcepts F1 car, and I made it work. So.
You told me you had an F1 car up here?
Well, I mean, it's not technically ours. All right, so this car's done. So it's gonna go. We put that on that open spot right there, because it'll probably be at least 3 weeks before I even try to race again. Because we'll be gone next Wednesday. You put that up there. All right, so a couple weeks ago, I replaced the front A-arms, the front spindle carriers and inserts. I put the new factory team aluminum Ackerman on this car. I replaced some ball cups. I put a new diff in the car. What else did I do? I did something else too. Oh, I put new inserts in the rear hubs, because those inserts they get old basically, and they get really worn out, and they start to have a lot of play in it. And I think our cars, I think our cars work good when they're broken in, but sometimes you can have like too much play, and I wanted to get rid of some of that. And then we raced Friday. And the car did pretty good. So I don't think I'm going to change the shocks now. I don't think there's any point. Because it's a completely different climate in Phoenix. So if I built the shocks here with the humidity and the air pressure being what it is here, then you go there, you're just going to have to rebuild them anyways. So I think I'm just going to leave that. I was thinking about taking my transponder. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I remember what I was going to do. I'm going to change batteries, because I'm going to put this
I was thinking about doing something.
Big battery into my... I was thinking Emerson's truck actually could use this new this big battery that I got.
For the mini Bs, what if we take one of these small little guys and we drill...
Yeah, Dalton, I'm getting to that here in a second.
And we drill into the ball cups? Do you think we'd be able to screw them out?
Should be able to, yeah.
Would that mess it up?
No.
I'm going to do that.
Daniel Bender's on here. He's Daniel Explosions 912, and he's responding to my question.
Because I want to be able to like change positions of the ball sit without taking the thing off.
Okay, I got to make sure that I put this in there. I plugged it back. I plugged. Is it this car? No, it's my carpet car. So I plugged a battery in backwards in my carpet car, and the Hobby Wing capacitor did its job and popped. And it's because I had a Gens Ace battery in my car, and the negative and positive when it's upright are here, and with a ProTech battery, it's opposite. So you got to flip this over, and then put it in the car so that it stays the same. And on dirt, I started using a big heavy battery with the B6.4. For my .3, I had a lightweight battery, and my car felt really good. Early in the summer when you first got this B6.4, I put that same battery in my car, and I didn't think my car felt that great. And so Will Brinton, co-host of the HobbyPlex show, said try a bigger battery. And I did. Lo and behold, car was amazing. So, and then I also played around with where the battery is. And on the B6.3, I would run the battery all the way forward. On the B6.4, I run the battery all the way back. And I figured I've had enough goofy things happen when it comes to batteries and finishing 8-minute races that I'm going to put a new battery in this car for next weekend, so that hopefully that doesn't happen. Nothing goofy happens with making a main because the battery died. So I've lost a race because the battery died, and I don't want to lose that way. So other than that, I think this buggy's ready to go. I do need to fix my transponders. We've been swapping transponders out again. Do you have scissors over there? I got scissors. Never mind. But we've been swapping transponders out between a couple cars, and my transponder was just floating around, and I wanted to get that back in position. And I wanted to make sure that my other 6100 battery, ProTech 6100, is actually in my monster truck, because I was using it to fit the battery case for that, and I never took it out, and so I don't want to forget about that, because I was wondering where that battery was the other day, and I just remembered that it's in the monster truck, so I gotta grab that. I found all of our slicks.
I found my truck slicks.
So we got to get our tire situation kind of figured out, of what to take and what not to take, what we don't need to take. You know, I figure if we have a full set of slicks on all of our cars, when we get there, we can just run, practice, and then we can get tires when we're there. Because we're traveling by air, you don't want to have heavy bags. So if you ever want to know why a lot of the pros will leave behind tires and stuff, a lot of times it's just because they don't want to have to deal with any extra weight in their bags. You know, sometimes they'll leave awards behind too, and I've kind of come to terms with that. I used to get offended by that, but I actually think that a lot of it's just they don't want to They don't want the weight in their bags. They've got, you know, everything they need kind of down to a science to get 50 pounds in their bags. So, kind of understand that now as I've traveled more as well. This is the first time we've flown to a race since 2017? Is that when we went to California?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I took Emerson on a vacation, though, 2 weeks after the Reedy race to SoCal, and we just hung out for a week and enjoyed the beach, and we raced at OCRC a couple times that weekend, and just had a really good time, and no pressure. It was a JBRL race, I think, and just kind of hung out and had fun. And I think that was the last time that we actually traveled by air. So, okay, this car I think I'm just gonna leave alone because it's pretty much set, and it drove really well. It drove very well on Friday for Family Friday Off-Road. So I'm gonna set this car aside.
Oh, my truck's dialed, by the way.
Emerson says his truck is dialed, so that's good.
My truck is dialed too.
My truck is dialed. Okay, now.
Uh-oh.
I'm giving serious consideration to, speaking of short course, to taking this with us and racing in short course at this race.
You can get your slash body painted in your paint scheme and put it on there.
Oh, I could. No, it's too late for that. It's
If you want to buy me an airbrush, I'll do
plus
it.
that's like that. Paying somebody to paint a short course body is like $60 or $70, and I'm tired of paying for bodies.
I can do it.
I know you can do it, but this thing is filthy. But I have an air compressor with an air hose, and I have some Simple Green, and all it would really take is a servo, which I have a servo, a just stock speed controller, a 13.5 motor, which I believe I have extra, and a receiver, which I can steal out of one of my other cars that I'm not using right now. I think I can get this thing going. The differential... Oh my gosh. Is that because the wheels aren't tight? Oh, that's because the wheels aren't tight. I was like, oh no. But like the CVDs are really loose, so I'd have to go in and re-thread lock those because you don't want them falling apart. And my cat's being loud. But what's really cool about this truck, this is the XXX SCT. I don't know if you guys can see it very well on video, but it does have an aluminum rear arm mount. So I got this used from Kansas this last year, and it's got an aluminum arm mount, and it has an aluminum front bulkhead, which are two of the couple things that used to always break on this truck. The only other thing is this plate right here is susceptible to breaking pretty easily, and I don't have any extra ones. So I would have to be kind of cautious with this thing. Or I do have a couple XXX buggies back here that I could steal the plate off of just to make sure I have them, and then if I don't break them, I can just put them back on. And if I do break them, well, then I'll just have to go and find it. So we'll have to stay tuned for our live updates next week from the track as to whether or not I actually put this truck together or not, because I need to go clean it, and I need to wrangle up all the electronics for it.
Pretty sure there's still like 30 psi in the air compressor because I shut it off. Right, close the valve.
And then I need tires, and I don't think we have any silver ellipses, which I'd have to make slicks for this thing. But I'm trying to figure out if I want to run a third class or not. So for the INS race, I'm signed up for 40 plus mod for 13.5 wheeler. Emerson's an expert stock and stadium truck. And then I was thinking about maybe just running mod buggy for the heck of it. Because there's a bunch of Europeans and stuff there. Like the entire X-ray team is there to test
Oh, really?
for the Worlds. So I was thinking about running mod 2-wheel just to see, you know, how it goes. But there's only 7 people signed up in short course.
You can win that.
So I was thinking it would be kind of funny if I could take this and do well. Also, I still believe that this truck is one of the best handling short course trucks to ever have been made. So I don't know. I got to think about it if I want to take it.
Look at that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go...
So doing that one won't make the ball cuts pop off easier?
I don't think so. So Emerson, before I go, I'm going to show you guys. Emerson, this is his mini B, and he's putting holes in his ball cups just so that he can. What are you doing that for?
So I can change mounts if I want to.
So you can change mounts if you want to. Okay. And but also, if you check this out, he's got a Hobby Wing just stock speed controller crammed into this car. And it's running a, what is that, an 8700?
6100.
6100
Mid-range.
little baby mod motor for minis. So, just so happens to be a just stock speed controller that I sure would like to borrow if I was going to run it in this thing.
But what if I want to bring my mini B?
That's true. So, anyways...
I don't have to put a screw in there.
Oh, you got an aluminum bolt. That's made out of aluminum.
That's why it's like $30.
Oh,
And I
wow.
only paid Tristan like $5 for it.
Oh, nice. All right, you can have that back. Okay, so that was fun. I haven't been on here in a while. Apologize for that, but sometimes get so busy and at the store and with everything going on and you come home, you don't necessarily want to start working on RC cars again. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to clean this thing up first, and then we'll see how it goes. So, all right, I'm gonna bail. You guys, thanks for tuning in. I actually accomplished something. I got my F1 car completely fixed and ready to go for the next time we race, which won't be next week because we'll be gone. And it'll be the Winter Series in December, I think. Maybe that Wednesday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But, yeah. We'll probably get this thing going. So, alright guys. I'll see you later. And, thanks for tuning in.
Pliers over there?
They were here